What is up, everybody? We are live right here on the Alternative Edge. I am your host, as always, Tony Cotillo, or you can call me Jigsaw. It's up to you. Make sure you like and follow and always subscribe to the YouTube channel, as always. And again, make sure that you're getting in to the Discord as well, right there. Getting that Discord right there. It's in the comments. It is free where we talk all things fantasy and sports betting. And this is NFL Week 1. And I'm firmly excited. If you've already been on the YouTube page and you've already locked in, you already know you've watched the DFS value show. You watched the Thursday night football show. We had the bets and the DFS, which we hit multiple tickets. And I have some more tickets that I want to talk about, and then we'll go through a lot of the games, certain matchups, and if you have any questions along the way, please by all means put them in to the comments and let me know. We're talking all things, whether it be season long fantasy, whether it be DFS, and whether it be sports betting. Let me know. What do you like? What are you looking at? That's the most important thing. Like what are some of your favorite plays? Right. And that's what we all want to know because listen, I don't know if I'm going to be on here for an hour, for 2 hours. Who knows? Right. We don't know wherever this takes us because this is week 1. Right. This is week 1. We don't know where this is going to go, man. Like I am super pumped for week 1, and I think everybody should be super pumped for week 1. Now it's going to be a little rust, right? We all know that there's going to be a little rust. That's what happens, right? We saw that already with the 2 games that were played. And listen, I'm going to throw it out there. I told everybody I was all in on Travis Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes this year. Everybody was down on these guys, man. Not me. I'm all in. Okay, I'm all in. This is retribution year. Okay, this is retribution year for these guys. So I'm all in on that. I'm so glad that I know it's only 1 game, but still I don't care. I'm so glad that I was able to get Travis Kelsey where he fell to me in most of the drafts. I really am. I think it was great. Make sure again you hop in that Discord right there, and again it is free. Okay, the Discord is free. Hop in there. I'm always checking it. You'll ask people, you'll know. Okay. Now, if you did follow, here's one thing I want to say. Okay. I want to say this. I'm a little different. I like to run this kind of like a very highly insightful radio show, except it's on YouTube. I would come in. I was the guy come in with so many notes and screens and shares and because the one thing I there's 2 things that bother me. Number 1, it bothers me when people talk about things based on just what they post and they can elaborate on it. And number 2 is the people that don't post anything and just want you to believe them, right? So I think there's a law. And one thing I will say to the betting community, and I will continue to say this: I don't care who you are, what you do, doesn't matter. We're all in this together. And the one thing is, I don't care if you bet $1. I don't care if you bet $5,000. A win is a win. Doesn't matter. Like I used to love people to say, "Oh, how much you bet? Who cares? What does it matter? What does it matter what I'm betting? It doesn't matter because everybody's situation is different. What matters is what the results are, right? What matters is what the results are. And sometimes, listen, you're not going to win all the time. We all know that. But if your results, at least, based on your loss, reflect the analysis that you gave, you're already in a win, in my opinion. That's the way I've always done it. Now, we had a really good Thursday night, multiple tickets. You saw the video. I was on Johan Dotson. We had a lot of the calls. Here's the ticket that we hit. We hit a parlay. Again, plus 725, 4 legs. Jake Ferguson over the 3.5 receptions. Johan Dotson over 8.5. And then we have Brandon Aubrey over 1.5 kicks and Jalen Hurts to score at least 1 touchdown. Okay, we cashed that. We cashed multiple tickets on Dallas Goedert, Johan Dotson. When it comes to the single bets, we had a really, really good night. Last night, I forgot to take a screenshot of the ticket, but you can go on Twitter and you can see it. We hit the combo bet, which was the Quentin Johnson and the Travis Kelsey touchdown. Not only did we get the single bet, but we also got the combo bet. So we double bagged it. I mean, Javon checking in. What's up, Javon? Javon says that's the same mantra when it comes to betting. As long as I end the day with 1 win, that's good. Exactly. The funny thing, Javon, is I say this all the time. And I see all the trolls that talk about, this guy's talking. What's he bet? What's he bet? One thing, and I think you'll agree with this, the one thing that really, really curls up my spine. Okay, and I continue to say this, and we're gonna go by. I got a bunch of bets to throw up here. We're gonna go some DFS value. We're gonna go season long fantasy football. But the one thing that crawls up my spine is the people that, whether they're on the radio or they're on the streams, and they give out picks. They give their analysis on their picks, and they say to you, "But I'm not betting it. But if I was going to bet, this is what I would do." Well, then why are you even giving it if you're not going to bet it? It doesn't make any sense. Like the stuff that I'm giving you guys is what I'm betting, right? Whether I lose every single ticket, it doesn't matter. So I don't know how people can give you analysis, whether it be through DFS. And again, I don't care how much you're betting. I don't care how much your contest is. I don't care. But you should at least be. How can you give advice if you don't play the friggin' game? I don't get it. Like I never understood that. So again, and that's not a knock on anybody. I'm just saying I don't understand it. I don't get it. All I know is that's not how I roll. Okay. That's not how I roll. So what we used to do on the Sunday night series show is we used to go through not like technically like game by game, but it's kind of like a little breakdown of what we're going to look for and maybe some value, whether it comes from season long, comes from DFS. So I want to get into that. I do have some DFS value. Let's get right into that first. So if anybody playing DFS, so the way I love to do DFS is I know everybody gets in the stacks and everybody gets the. I get it, right? I understand. For me, I'm a little different. Everybody starts out with their core, right? They start out with their core. That's fine. Me, I start out with my value. I start out with like who's my one or two value guys that I want to add into my lineup, and then I build around them. That's just it's just what I do because I'm so certain that some of these guys are going to change tickets. Okay, so this week specifically, let's get right into it. Put up on the screen, and these are two guys from a DFS perspective that I really like. And when I talk about value, they've upped the game a little bit. So you used to be able to get some really good value about like 3,000, 3,300. You don't really get that anymore on the long slates. You'll get that on the showdown slates, but you don't really get that on the 12 game featured slates. You don't get that anymore. So you really got to up it to like 4,000, 45, like below 4,500 to me, especially when you talk about wide receivers as some really good value. I love these two plays right here from a DFS perspective. Now I know everybody's going to talk about Xavier Leggett, and they're like, "Wow, we didn't hear a lot about him." And Trey can't listen. All I'm telling you is it's a guy that's already been an incumbent on the team. It's a guy that already knows the system. It's year two of Bryce Young, more maturing of Bryce Young. And if you go back and look at Xavier Leggett, and you look at the last 5 games, 3 of those games were 8 or more targets. All right. If you look at the last, I don't know, 11 games, 10 games, I was 70% of them are 7 or more targets. This guy's a target monster. He really is. And Bryce Young was just learning the system. Now you have another year, and you're going up against a really bad Jacksonville defense, in my opinion. Jacksonville, this game could be legitimately a shootout. And it's crazy to say that because you have two quarterbacks. Well, one quarterback that I'm very low on, which is Trevor Lawrence, and the other quarterback in Bryce Young. And you look at them and you're both like, you know what? I don't know. Am I all in? Am I not? But that's why I like Xavier Leggett because I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity. He's 4,200. Listen, I know they have other options on this team. I get it. Okay. I do. I understand. But again, you have to start, you have to pick the dime, not really the diamonds in the rough, but to me, it's just always about value, right? Like you have, like I bumped up on Thursday Night Football. Jahan Dotson was $3,200, right? So at a $3,200 play that gets you 6, 7, 8, 10 points, you're already ahead of the game because a lot of people are picking guys like that give them the goose egg, right? So we're not talking about the goose egg. Right? That's the thing. We're not talking about the goose egg. And again, the thing about Leggett that I love is why is so many people so like right away? I know he was drafted in the first round, number 8 overall. And I know McMillan is a really good talent. He's still a rookie. Like I say this all the time, he's still a rookie. So Bryce Young, yes, develops that cohesion. I get it. You bring in Hunter Renfro, but think about the competition for catches in Carolina right now. You think about it. Even Anthony McMillan is the next guy. Number 2 in that chart is Leggett. And then you got Renfro, right? And then you got Jalen Coker. Like, I'm not worried about these guys, right? I'm not. From a DFS perspective, that's why I really, really like Leggett this week. Again, really, really like it. Now let's flip over to the New England side. I know everybody's gonna talk about Stephon Diggs. He's active, we're ready, right? Listen, the dude is 30 plus years old and tore his ACL. Okay. He's not going to be the Stephon Diggs that you think he's going to be right away. Right? He's not. It's obvious. I listen, this guy is super good when he's healthy, right? I understand that. But I said this before and I'll say it again. The Mario Douglases of the world that we're going to sit there and give you the 5s for 50, the 6 for 80 with no TDs. They're not touchdown dependent. They're the guys that you want. And, coming into this offense, you have to remember, man, this is a whole new era, right? This is a whole new era under Mike Vrabel, right? Josh McDaniels comes back, offensive coordinator. This is a whole new era. I am telling you right now, remember Wes Welker in that offense? I'm just saying, right? Am I saying Demario Douglas is Wes Welker? No. But what I'm saying is he will be able to be used in that aspect. And Drake May, under the leadership of Mike Vrabel, I talked about this the other day, a guy that has been known for resurrecting careers. Not to say that his needs to be resurrected, but he resurrected a guy named Ryan Tannehill. Okay, I think we all remember that. So again, it's really important that you really look deep inside of these plays. My man Kyle checking in. Kyle says, I'm down bad because of Worthy and Pickens. 35% chance to win. Should I double stack Allen with Shakir and Coleman, or should I start Jacoby Myers? Please pick 2. Now, Kyle, I will tell you this. This is going to be a tough one for me. I will tell you this. I love the Las Vegas offense this year. I do. I am a Chip Kelly truther. I'm going to tell you that right now. I look at all these instances in the past of what the way Chip Kelly has grown. Chip Kelly is an offensive mastermind. He is. However, his ego is this big. So when he came to Philadelphia, right away, he couldn't handle the ego. Right? He couldn't handle the ego. He wanted to be the guy. Made a lot of bad decisions. However, the one thing about Chip Kelly that I can tell you is he never fell short on calling an offense. And he went to Ohio State and he won a chip basically, okay? And even though he's a coordinator, but still, and now he comes back, and who better to be under than Pete Carroll, the ultimate leader? And all Chip's got to do is run an offense. Right? So my man Vegas second in says Geno is a much better quarterback inside. Right? So you talk about Geno Smith, and you talk about that offense as a whole. There's going to be multiple opportunities. That's what I like. It's volume. That's going to be volume. However, that Buffalo offense, okay, I think I am like my man in Japan hasn't checked in yet, but I love Khalil Shakir this year. Love him. I know everybody's on the Keon Coleman train. Everybody's waiting for him to take that next step, but I love Khalil Shakir. I look at this game, and Baltimore did a lot a lot of different things in the offseason when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. Will they work? So here's what I'm going to tell you, Kyle. Long story short, week one, we take the least, in my opinion, the least amount of questions. We can't predict many things in week one, right? So all I would say is looking at the Jacoby Myers aspect and understanding the backstory too about, remember, a week ago, he's requested a trade. Remember that. Jacoby Myers requested a trade because he wants a new contract, doesn't want to play on a 1-year deal. So his head's already messed up. So I'm going to be honest with you, because it's until I see that he's driven, I'm kind of Alan Jacoby Myers right now. That's me. So Shakir, here's the thing about Shakir. Shakir is the guy that doesn't need to be touchdown dependent, right? So in my opinion, Shakir is the guy that you can count on to get you volume in that offense, right? And he's been cleared, right? Listen, he was on injury. He's off the injury report. He's their wide receiver one, man. Like he had 100 targets last year. 100 targets, right? And the thing is, he had an elite catch rate, and yak last year in the slot. So again, I know people may say, well, how many 100-yard performances? He only had 2. I listen, I get it, I understand it. However, I look at volume. Okay. So all you need to do is why I love Shakir is go back to week 7. Okay, I got it up right now. Go back to week 7 and look at his targets. 7, 10, 7, 9, 12, 7, 8, 6, 6, 6, 7, 7. And his last 3 games, his target to catch ratio was 93%. Give me Josh Allen and Khalil Shakir. Give me them all day. On Sunday night, prime time, Kyle, that's who I'm going with. I'm going with that stack right there. I should. I'm all about Shakir. All about Shakir. Oh, so you're going to stack Shakir and Coleman. Okay. Oh, you're going to go. Okay. I got you. Yeah. Wow. Myers picked 2 wide outs. Yeah. I would go. It's crazy. Are you, here's my thing though. I'm going to pivot here, Kyle, because I'm not a big proponent of starting 2 wide receivers on the same team. All right, are we talking about? All right, you're talking about season long, correct? If you're talking about season long, I don't listen, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. That's not. I'm not a big fan of that. Now, if you have to do it, that's fine. Because here's my problem, right? How often? Think about this, Kyle. How often can you remember that 2 guys on the same team, unless you go back to like Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce days, how can you like the reliability factor of 2 wideouts on the same team going off at the same time is tough. It honestly is. So I don't. I mean, for me, I don't. I thought you were asking, do I stack Allen with Shakir or Coleman? And I would say I would stack him with Shakir over Coleman. That's me. But if you were picking 2, I I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I could go in on Shakir and Coleman together. I think that would be tough. I do. I think that would be tough. I mean, you might be in a bad situation where you have no choice. I mean, listen, if Jacoby Myers is right, he's still going to give you legit volume. He really is, because there's really still not that many people after that. Again, we go to that competition for carries after Brock Bowers. Obviously, then you have Jacoby Myers. But there's a lot of interesting things and dynamics going on out there in Vegas that got to be careful of. So you may not be in the good situation that you want to be. So I'm gonna pivot here, bro. Seriously. only because I don't like starting like, think about it. If you have all that Buffalo and just hypothetically say that they don't play well, and, like, you're really screwed, right? You're really especially if you're already behind. So I think the safe play honestly would probably be to put as much as I'm gonna be careful with Jacoby. I think I would put Jacoby in there. If you're asking me to pick 2, I would go Shakira Myers. I honestly, I'm giving you my honest take. If it was my team, that's what I would do. I'd never start 2 wide receivers from the same team. Like, I'm in Philly, right? So, I'm in Philly, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I would never start both of them on the same, like, on the same week. Never. I would never do it. I would pick one or the other. So, no problem, and listen, I hope it works out. And again, I'm not on ESPN, right? I'll be honest, like, you're not even though I think I know more than some of the people on ESPN, to be honest with you, I think a lot of us do, because, a lot of you have an analyst or personality, but, um, all my years, I mean, this is 15 plus years of doing this, whether it be on Sirius, whether it be on VSiN, Fox Sports, you name it. I've been multiple different plays, so I'm very confident in what I'm saying, and I want it to work out. So make sure you check back in, and let me know how it works out, man. But that's what I would do. That's what I do. I wish you nothing but luck. I do, and make sure you like and subscribe if you can, my man. Like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be probably 3 to 4 different fantasy streams a week, trying to bring you guys. Obviously, powered by BetQL. Got more stuff from BetQL coming up as far as models, DFS projections, optimizers, working on all of that right now to get that rolling. So I can't wait for that. So, like it, my man Kyle, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. So there's my 2 plays for value. DFS value. Right there, you're gonna get the Mario Douglas and you're gonna get Xavier Leggett. Okay. So I'm expecting really good value based on those 2 guys. So whoever you build your team around, up to you. I just think one of those guys should definitely be inserted. Should definitely be inserted. My man JD checking in, and he says he wants to know Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. I think I have to lean Bo Nix. And the reason why and I love Michael Penix Jr. I do. But I think I have to he had the one thing that bothers me about Penix is he didn't even pick up a ball all season. So, meaning like he's still going to ball out this year. But my thing is, you talk about the rust factor. You talk about a guy who only started the last 3 games of the season, and he didn't even get 1 snap in the preseason. That bothers me a little bit, right? So I think it may take him a little bit to get acclimated. Listen, Denver is one of my sleeper teams. I love what Denver's doing out there. I love what they did by bringing in Evan Ingram. I love Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims. And another year of Bo Nix. I'm extremely excited for that team. I really am. So for me personally, I have no problem going all in on Bo Nix this week as my quarterback. I'm expecting some really big things out of Denver this year. And again, they're going up to a team in Tennessee that's kind of like a reclamation team, right? They're trying to find their way. They might win 3 or 4 games this year, right? I mean, let's be honest. And again, you're playing at home, and that like I love Denver this week, and I love Bo Nix. So yeah, give me Bo Nix. I tell you how much I love Bo Nix, JD. Give me Bo Nix. Give me Bo Nix. My man Japan checking in. What's up, Japan? Let's start going a little game by game a little bit before I get to some of the bets. Again, make sure you're locked in. Make sure you like and subscribe. As always, if you want to get into the free Discord, make sure you hop in as well. Very, very simple. The link is in the comments. Just click on that. Boom, you'll go in, get the invite. You'll go right in the fantasy and betting page. Yes, there is multiple rooms that are pay rooms, but that one is free. Okay, that one is free. And Ash Japan, listen, I go in there like to have a conversation, spark it up. I live on my phone. I'm not proud of it, but especially during football season, that's what I do, man. That's what I do. So let's get right into it before we bring and as I get some bets, we'll talk about them. So right off the bat, listen, you saw what happened, Dallas, Philly. You saw what happened, KC, the Chargers. Just two quick notes on both of those games. Let's take Philly and Dallas. And I just want to talk from a fantasy and betting perspective. I know everybody's worried about AJ Brown. I was worried about AJ Brown before the season even started. AJ Brown was on my fade list. I love my Eagles. I bleed green. But from a fantasy perspective, looking at that team, I just know that they're so bought in on doing whatever it takes to win that these games like this are going to happen. And I still don't think he's 100%. That being said, if you watched my Thursday night football stream, I was all in on Dallas Goedert because I felt like it was going to be that kind of game. The problem with the Eagles offense is it's going to go game by game. It's never going to be consistent, meaning who that top dog is going to be. Saquon's always going to get fed, right? Jalen's always going to have his stats, but who's going to be the third guy? It's going to flip. So that's why I was out on AJ Brown. So for me, I'm not. Listen, I am not surprised. Put it that way. But what I do like is the people that are in on Jalen Hurts. You already see the guy's willing to run he looked like he had a pep in his step. Listening to him after the game, pre and post game, he sounds like a different driven quarterback this year. Not like he needed to be, but I really like it. I felt like he was very stern with his takes, and I think that's a good thing. Now, if you flip over to the Dallas side, one thing I will say from a fantasy perspective is listen, they weren't afraid to run with Javonte Williams. Now I know it's a big deal with the whole Jay Carter thing, but one big thing is you see that they're not unwilling to give the ball to Javonte. CD's always going to get his. We knew Dak was going to throw the ball a ton. He's still going to do that. Pickens is going to be inconsistent. But the one guy I really liked what I saw was Jason Ferguson. Now, I understand his stats weren't electric, but they consistently tried to feed him multiple times in the red zone. And I think going forward, that means a lot if you took him for your tight end. We could be seeing the Jason Ferguson of a year and a half ago. So I do like that. I think that's a plus. Now getting to the KC and the Chargers, let's go KC. All right, this game now Xavier Worthy goes out. That sucks, right? That kind of messed things up a little bit. I still don't think that would have mattered for the night of Travis Kelce. This is Travis Kelce reclamation year. I said it before. I'll say it again. Can you expect the Pro Bowl numbers? No. Can you exceed last year? Abso-friggin-lutely. And you saw it already. So I like what I saw in the KC offense. I think you could be happy if you have Mahomes. He was scrambling a lot, running, which gives you those rushing points, and he was going down the field. I mean, listen, this team just has to get to week 6. I think we know that. It's over Rasheed Rice comes back. So team's got to get back to week 6. That's for sure. Javon says, I'm intrigued by Kevontae Turpin as a flex later this season. I'll tell you what, that's a great point. Because the fact though in this whole thing is, what is Pickens going to be? And the reason why I say that is, is he going to be flapping his gums if he's not targeted enough? Is he going to run because he did some of the same tendencies on Thursday night with cut routes short, not being involved a little bit, and I think that's going to wear thin on Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer's a different coach, not McCarthy. Schottenheimer, I think, did a hell of a job in that game. I do. I think Schottenheimer did a really good game, getting those guys prepared, getting them out there, facing adversity with the Micah Parsons thing. He went out there and they balled out. They really did. It wasn't easy. And he's a no-nonsense guy. Marty was a no-nonsense guy. Brian's going to be a no-nonsense guy, right? So I like exactly. Japan says George takes too many plays off. And listen, Schottenheimer's not going to deal with that, which is going to open a door, like you just saw, Javon, to Kevontae Turpin. Turpin's a very talented individual. Right? He really is. He's got blazing speed. and he runs decent routes. I mean, Japan, you're talking right here. I mean, he's Dallas's Khalil Shakir. If you think about it, when you look at size and ability and the way he runs routes. So, Javon, I'm all in. I do. I think, listen, they're going to force the Pickens thing in the beginning, but if he continues to be an issue, they'll slowly, I think the leash is short. And I think that they know the talent that Turpin is, and I think that they'll eventually get him more involved. So I agree, man. He could be a nice little flex option, especially if you're in one of those deep fantasy leagues right now. Like now's the time to pick these guys up and stash, man. Now's the time to pick these guys up and stash. You don't want to be trying to put a waiver claim in for a guy like Kavontae Turpin with day down the line because you're not going to get him, right? You're not going to get him. Now, the other good thing about the flip side of the KC Chargers game is Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, again, this kid's got all the talent in the world, and everybody is pulling for this kid. And he came out guns a-blazing last night. He did. He had to play the game where when he ran for the first down, to put game over, that checkmate, right? On that little bootleg to the side, I think was fantastic. It was great. So looking at that and look at the way he utilized all his receivers and McConkey, Quentin Johnson, and Keenan Allen. Listen, here's the thing. We know what you have from McConkey. This was the important thing that I saw. You don't know what you have from Ladd. We get it. You know what you have from Keenan Allen. Right? He's a veteran. You know what you have. The question mark was Quentin Johnston. Is he finally going to take that next step, right? They get rid of Josh Palmer. They throw him to Buffalo, and they're like, I need Quentin Johnson to take the next step. And Johnson did take the next step. Not caught one, but 2 touchdowns. But the thing is, caught. He held onto the ball. He didn't have the drops. That's a big deal. That Chargers offense, very underrated. Very underrated this year. Very underrated. So let's get to some of Sunday's games. And listen, JD was just talking about Michael Penix Jr. So let's get to that Atlanta Tampa game. A very interesting game to me. Very, very interesting game. What Tampa team are we going to get? I think, last year a fluke or was last year real? Right? I mean, that's what you're asking. Was last year a fluke or was last year real? Now, the biggest thing is going to be what is the second round pick? What is it, Ibuka going to be? Because there is no Chris Godwin right now. So now you have Mike Evans, you got Ibuka, and you have Tez Johnson. Kate Otten still is your tight end. Obviously, another year Bucky Irvin, which is year 2, which is going to be even better. Baker, I have no issues with Baker. He's going to be driven. Will they have enough on the receiver position right now? I know Ibuka is getting really propped up. My son's all over him. A lot of people are all over him. I guess he's in a great situation. Just will it translate to the NFL game? It's always what you worry about. Will it translate to the NFL game? And on the other side with Atlanta, listen, Michael Penix Jr. is going to be a show. When he's in, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a show. Atlanta is going to be a show. It's why I was so big on Drake London and still am so big on Drake London. So yes, I love Drake London. Obviously Bijan, and one of my favorite value plays from a DFS perspective every week is going to be Ray McLeod. I know they have Darnell Mooney's their long guy, and Drake London catches everything. I don't know what Kyle Pitts is. He finally going to see the light? Who knows? But Ray McLeod is that number 3 receiver. They like him out there. He does some really good things. So he could be a really nice flex option from time to time, and especially at DFS value for sure. Japan wants to know, Tony, how do you feel about Patty Mahomes lowering his shoulder before going out of bounds? I mean, listen, I have two things. It's like a kind of like back and forth at Japan. Number one, I love the grit, but I don't like the stupidity. Like, honestly, like I love the grit, but knowing how much you mean to that team, like the biggest thing I was happy about with Jalen Hurts is watching the early slides. I love the early slides. Like, give me those early slides, Jalen. I'm in on those early slides all day long. I am. So yeah, I don't like that at all. I need you on the field. Definitely on the field. Now let's go Cincinnati, Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland's just going to be a laugher, right? The only thing you could hope for at Cleveland from a fantasy perspective is, are they going to be getting garbage time? Are they going to be behind? One thing I will say, one name to look at that I'm really intrigued about is Dylan Sampson. I know Jerome Ford is that guy. He's going to get the first look. He's going to get the first couple touches, but Kevin Stefanski is a run first kind of coordinator. He loves to run the ball. However, the problem is no Nick Chubb, and he's not a huge fan of Jerome Ford, but they have to make, we don't know what Judkins is, he just signed, what there's a lot of, is he going to be suspended? There's so many stuff going on with that. So I think Dylan Sampson's a name that maybe you could watch. Just again, I'm not saying to play, I'm saying to watch. Put the watch in and see what happens. Besides that, I'm really not worried about anybody in Cleveland. I mean, maybe Cedric Tillman gets a little bit of a look. I don't know. But Cincinnati, obviously, listen, I don't have to talk about Joe B. Don't have to talk about Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. We know the whole what I know how talented Chase Brown. Chase Brown's my number 2 projected running back in all of fantasy football this year. I think he's that special. And I'm just waiting to see if he he makes me look good. That's what I do. I want to see if that is the case. Now, Javon says, I picked up Sampson and Josh Downs. And I like this. This is a huge move. So Javon picks up Sampson and Josh Downs in a trade for Ricky Pearsall in a keeper league I'm in. That's a great trade. Listen, I like Ricky Pearsall, but Ricky Pearsall is not ready to take that next step to wide receiver 1 territory. He's going to be forced in that role. I know Jawan Jenkins is bad and all that, but I think eventually he's going to be forced in that role, and I don't think he's ready. I love Josh Downs. I know Josh Downs is the PPR machine. And Dylan Sampson, again, that's a guy that I think has a lot of upside and tons of opportunity in Cleveland. He does. So I'm in, Javon. I like that's a great trade. That is. Let's get to a couple bets. So I like to do a couple things with parlays. Now, please understand my parlay system. For those just checking in, number 1, make sure you like and subscribe. This is the alternative edge. This is powered by BetQL. Okay, that is one of my partners is BetQL. And BetQL for this exclusively for the alternative edge is powered by BetQL. And I will have some stuff for BetQL coming up when it comes to DFS models and things of that nature. And obviously, a lot of their projections and bets and things of that. So that will be coming very, very soon. And full transparency, I'm going to be honest with you guys, like I always am. I am one of those people that like to really understand what I'm doing before I talk about it. And when I partner with a DFS partner, I don't just throw their stuff up on the screen and say, "Hey, or check this out." I want to decipher it and make sure I understand how it all works, how their optimizers work, how their projection models work before I show it to you guys, right? Because that's just only fair. That's what I like to do. Yeah, let's get Japan says, let's get Jigsaw crazy. I promise Tony crazy bets hit. It is crazy, man. Like Japan, it's crazy. Like, I don't think these people know. I don't think these people know. I mean, the ATD, the anytime touchdown, 3-leg, 4-leg, 5-leg parlays that we hit last year. I mean, that could have gave your bankroll for the entire year. See that's the crazy thing. But the thing about it, Japan knows this. Javon knows this, right? So I do have to show. I do have to show. I have a lot of the I still have them. So I have to go into my files because I still have the screenshots. Last year was the best. Last year with the 5,500 one was huge. Was huge. So I do Japan. Listen. I have the one we just hit on the other night. I mean, I know it's only plus 725. But again, the odds to hit the parlays of 4 or 5 legs, it's tough, right? It's tough. But if you notice, I get a little different. I bet things and not everybody bets, right? Because I'm looking at the scenarios of the game. So these are not model bets. These are Tony bets. Like, I'm being honest, these are not model bets, right? This is just me thinking and thinking outside the box. Does it always work? No. But I can tell you what, when it does work, it pays for your entire year. Okay, it pays for your entire year. So I promise that is coming. And Japan, yes, I will. I'm doing it. Remember, Sunday night shows every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Alternative Edge. We at 9 p.m. It's going to get you ready for Monday Night Football. Right, we're going to have the crazy jigsaw crazy parlays, just like we did on Thursday Night Football. Jigsaw crazy parlays. We're going to have the AEVP, which is the value play. We're going to have the single stat, which is a 3-player DK. We're going to have the captain DK that we're looking at. We're going to have the value play from DFS that we're looking at, and then we're going to have some more bets. So let's get to some bets, shall we? Let's get to my 3-leg. This is kind of a little crazy parlay, right? We're almost at 1,000 here, almost at 10-1. We're talking right now. We're plus 998, right? Where you get a little 10% boost, and this is my quarterback parlay. Now, what I like to do is when it comes to touchdowns, is I like to go by position. And again, I'm looking at scenarios that maybe not everybody's looking at. Like right away, I can tell you right now, everybody's be like, "Whoa, Aaron Rodgers, you're going AR? You're going AR?" Listen, can I just tell you something? Aaron Rodgers just needs 5 seconds. That's it. I don't care how old he is. Aaron Rodgers needs 5 seconds. He needs time. That's it. And the Jets stink. Okay? They stink. I love Aaron Glenn. Don't get me wrong. I love Aaron Glenn. But Aaron Glenn can only coach up what he has from a talent perspective. So it's going to take them a couple years to get back to where they need to be. So I like just looking at the weapons that Aaron Rodgers has. And I just honestly I like it. I like it a lot. I like the play. Okay, so I like him coming in with a really gritty coach and Mike Tomlin. I like everything from this game that sets up the Aaron Rodgers going, I'll show you I still got it. Aaron Rodgers is an ego guy, man. We all know that, right? So Aaron's an ego guy. This is the first game back playing a former team. Everybody says he should have retired. Like, I'm in. Over 1.5 touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers. Now, we talked about the Carolina and Jacksonville game. I think it's going to be one of the highest scoring contests because both defense very suspect, and I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for points in this game. I love Bryce Young. I will tell you why I love Bryce Young. Bryce Young got kicked in the mouth last year, right? He got kicked in the mouth. Came in, he sucked. He got benched. He didn't sulk. He worked hard. He put the extra time in, right? And what did he do? He came out guns a-blazing when he came back. And I think that's going to continue. And against a Jacksonville Jaguars team that I think is very suspect on the defensive side of the ball, to get 1.5 touchdowns at a Bryce Young, or let's just call it 2, right? Obviously, to get 2 touchdowns for Bryce Young, not a problem to me. Not in this game. So that's pick number 2. And then we go Jordan Love. This is a pick that I really have been warming up to. Like, Detroit, yes, was fantastic last year. But you don't just lose both of your coordinators. Listen, this happened in Philadelphia. You don't just lose both of your coordinators and everything just as a seamless transition. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't. Now, I know you got some injuries out there in Green Bay. I listen, I understand. However, I think this defense is going to be very, very suspect for the first 4 to 6 weeks until they figure it all out there in Detroit. So I like Jordan Love. He's healthy. And again, I really, really like the perspective of him coming out. I think this could be I really think this could be one of those 3 touchdown games from Jordan Love. I do. And again, this is just, you have to remember this is week 1. You have no statistical data to go back. So don't give me your statistics. Like, anybody that's feeding you statistics is an idiot. I'm being honest. Meaning, like, it's different teams. It's a different year. Like, I hate when people go, well, history. Screw history. What history are we talking about here? Every history changes every freaking year. Different coordinators, different schemes, different players, free agency, rookie. Stop. We need a 4-game sample size to get this year's analytical data. So all we can do right now is go by different concepts. And then in week two, yes, you can look at the game flow of week one and look at opportunities. But to give you these hardcore analytics to go by last year is ridiculous. It's just unheard of. It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. So I look at, listen, Green Bay is already on a high, right? They get Micah Parsons. So they're already on that high. Like, yo, like that was an insertion of energy into that team. Now, what I think is very interesting about Green Bay is I've been warming up to the rookie. All right. I have. Like I wasn't this huge Matthew Golden guy, but I'm really starting to warm up knowing that he can play all the positions. And you have some interesting things going on with Jaden Reed, right? He had the sprained foot. So, Romeo Dobbs, so all of a sudden now Romeo Dobbs is talking contract. There is no Christian Watson. Dontavian Wicks has always been steady. Again, I just think that it's the volume that takes me to this play for Green Bay and Jordan Love. So I do. I like this. I like this a lot. Now, what I do, and I do it all the time, is either you round robin these or you single bet them or you do both. Because you want to at least come out ahead. Right? Like the odds are, listen, odds are in your favor that at least one of these are going to hit. Very rare. I will tell you, I'm not perfect, but it's very rare of all the years I've been doing this. So where I throw a three-legger up there for ATDs, for anytime touchdowns or touchdowns through the air, that it's a flat zero. It happens, but again, it's rare. The percentages are pretty minute. So again, Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 touchdowns, Bryce Young over 1.5 touchdowns, Jordan Love over 1.5 touchdowns. Make sure you single bet them or round robin them. As always, let's go to the running backs. Let's go to the running backs, and then we'll get back to some more fantasy talk. Let's go to the running backs. So I like this ATD. Now, again, this is only about like 6.5 to 1, 7 to 1. But these are three running backs that I absolutely crush on. Meaning I have man crushes on all three of these guys from a fantasy perspective. And I love the potential of these guys. I love where they're headed. I love the direction. Number one is Chuba Hubbard. I love Chuba, whatever you want to call him. I love Chuba Hubbard a lot. Chuba Hubbard is that poor man's PPR monster out of the backfield. He's going to continue to be that guy. He's going to grow even more. And again, we just talked about this team and this matchup against Jacksonville. It's just breathes offense. This breathes a lot of holes, right? So Chuba Hubbard, I look at that and I'm like, all right, give me Chuba Hubbard for the ATD. And then I'm going to tell you something. Aston Genty could just go off and explode in week one, honestly, because he's that talented. And the biggest thing that I think that could hinder him is, oh, nice. Japan says I'll be at the Pats and Raiders game tomorrow. Awesome, man. That's awesome, Japan. So yeah, I think that Chip Kelly is going to utilize Ashton Genty all over. That's going to be his silent new weapon. And he's going to have multiple opportunities in the red zone, from direct passes, from sweeps, from screen. Like I'm telling you, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch red zone and see some of these plays. I really can't. So I like Ashton Genty for Vegas ATD. And then we've heard all offseason about Kenneth Walker situation. Clint Kubiak, heard about it. We know if you are an NFL guy and you follow coordinators, you're going to understand why you're going to love Kenneth Walker this year. Why, what Clint Kubiak has been tied to when it comes to NFL running backs. Just look at Alvin Kamara, and you look at Kamara's usage rate and his opportunities, and you listen to what Clint has said, and he really loves the pass catching ability of Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is going. Kenneth Walker can finish easily as a top 5 fantasy running back this year if all things go as planned. Well, if he stays healthy, he could finish as a top 5, easy top 5 running back in fantasy football this year, just because of volume. straight volume because of volume alone. So I'm going to go all three of these cats. Again, this is my running back ATD parlay, three legs. It is boosted. You get the 10%. I took the 10% boost on DK. That it's a three pack. You get 10% three times, three 10% coins. So I did do that and got that on a parlay, boosted up to 662. Again, went from like 6-1 to 6.5 to 1. And again, single bets as always, but I like those three plays as well. Now, let's get back to a little bit of the fantasy talk. We go to Miami, Indianapolis. We already talked about what's going on in Indy, man. Like they just I mean, I wish they would just let Anthony Richardson go somewhere else. I'm curious to see what Anthony Richard is when he's healthy under a different system, right? You go with Danny Dimes out there. Josh Downs is going to be the guy. This could be a shootout. It's in a dome. Don't have to worry about weather concerns, right? But this could be a shootout. I don't know what the hell to expect from Miami. I don't. I have no idea. I don't know what to expect from them. That guy's a loose cannon out there. He is. I mean, whatever. Mike McDaniel is Mike McDaniel, but what I do like is one thing to watch, and I know a lot of people were, including myself, were kind of like letting Tyreek Hill go throughout fantasy football drafts and not getting a lot of hype. The one thing I will say is Tyreek Hill's playing for a contract. So sometimes when you have a player who you're not sure about who's playing for that extra incentive, it could actually be more than you think, right? So I think that's one thing that I'm looking at in that game. How healthy is Devon A. Chain? Because if Devon A. Chain is healthy, he is as dynamic as they come, and he could really have a monster year this year. Now, we talked about Carolina, Jacksonville. You talked about those players, obviously. We talked about Vegas and New England. Let's go to Arizona and New Orleans. Fantasy perspective, love Marvin Harrison Jr., love James Conner. James Conner is just a work. I know he's 31, but he's consistent. I think that we could be seeing a change of the guard possibly, later on towards the end of the year with Trey Benson. But I do think Trey Benson will be involved more than we think in this offense. Obviously, Trey McBride's a stud, and a lot of this is all goes on Kyler Murray, man. Can Kyler Murray be that guy? I don't. I told you, I don't think he can. Right? I told you, I don't think he can. I do not think he could be that guy. I don't. So a lot of it hinders on Kyler Murray, and listen, New Orleans. That team stinks. Kellen Moore obviously took the bag, right? Kellen Moore obviously took the bag. They're a couple years away, obviously, right? I think there'll be some bets that you can get in on them, and we'll look at them very, very shortly. But yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know. Is Olave? He's had so many concussions and injuries. I love Chris Olave. What Chris Olave are we going to get? Rashid Shaheed, is he going to be a down the field threat? And what do you get from Spencer Rattler, right? So I think again, it's going to be the Alvin Kamara show, and how much can Alvin Kamara give you, right? We talked about Pittsburgh and we talked about the Jets, the Giants and the Commanders. I think the Giants have more fantasy appeal than a lot of people are giving them credit for. I love Tyrone Tracy Jr. I think that the biggest thing about Tyrone Tracy Jr. is he's got to hold on to the ball. He got in a doghouse last year because of the fumbles. If he can hold on to the ball, remember Tiki Barber had an issue with fumbles too, and he took care of it. So Tyrone Tracy Jr., if he can hold on to the ball, this dude is a PPR monster. He really is. Right? He is a PPR monster. So that's one thing to look out for. I would be very happy if I had him. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what to expect from the quarterback position, what's going to happen. But if it is Russell Wilson right now, and it is Russell Wilson, I think that's a big downgrade to Malik Neighbors, but a huge upgrade to Wan'Dale Robinson. Because I don't think that Russ is going to be airing that ball out a lot. And I think he loves that underneath stuff. And I think it's all going to open up for Wan'Dale Robinson. That you're going to have a lot of Wan'Dale Robinson games where he's getting like 9 to 10 targets. I honestly feel that way. And I think a lot of people are overlooking him. I think he could be a huge, huge fantasy asset, man. I really do. I think it could be a huge fantasy asset. Now, when we look at the Washington Commanders, it's do they take a step back, right? Are we going to see the CJ Stroud theory and Jaden Daniels? I don't think so. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think so. I think Jaden Daniels is a very special talent. I do. Um, I know they list Austin Eckler as the guy. It's not. It's going to be. I'm telling you, I love Chris Rodriguez Jr. I love him. I do. Let's listen to some of the. Again, I think differently than a lot of people, and I'm just going by his own speaking, his own conferences. I love the way he talks. I love the tone that he gives. This dude's driven. This dude wants the ball. I think he can overtake this job very easily from a split to being the featured guy. And I think that I jumped on him. A lot of people I jumped all over him. I'm all in. I think we all could be sitting at week 7 or 8 going, wow, who who got lucky enough to get Chris Rodriguez Jr.? Honestly, I do. I think that's where we're at. We talked about Tennessee and Denver. Talked about how happy I was with Denver. I will say that Tennessee, I'm high on Tennessee a little bit. And not from a win perspective, from a fantasy perspective. That's what we're talking about. I don't give a shit about wins. I give a shit about fantasy and sports betting, right? So I love Cam Ward. I was in on Cam Ward before other people were in on Cam Ward. I was talking about Cam Ward before people start seeing him in the preseason. This dude is a driven guy. He's a prideful guy. He wants to learn. He wants to understand the game. He does everything he can to understand the game. And he this dude is going to be very, very good. He really is. He's going to come out blazing. And I do think that looking at that, listen, I love Calvin Ridley. He's still got it. I think the sleeper is Tyler Lockett. Everybody like Tyler Lockett, even at 30 plus years old, is like I think he's like 32 or 33, but he could still get it in the slot. And again, I like Chig. I do. However, the safety blanket for Cam Ward this year is going to be Tyler Lockett. Book it. The safety valve for Cam Ward is going to be Tyler Lockett. So I took Tyler Lockett every single one of my best ball drafts. Every single one. I like him from a depth perspective in season long. I do. I really do. And you're gonna see I like him from a betting perspective as well. We'll go through three more because Sunday night football again. I'll have the own thing for that. But you got San Francisco and Seattle. San Francisco, man. I hope everybody stayed away from that Christian McCaffrey. I'm telling you, man, that dude is flawed. That calf is an issue. It's going to continue to be an issue. And I got this a real big discussion at a barbershop the other day. And it was a good discussion. And it was all about basically how do you draft? And how do you decide who's undraftable? How do you decide who you want to overdraft, right? My whole thing is and people that have been following me again, if you're not following the show, make sure you follow, like, subscribe on the Tony Console Show for the alternative edge, powered by BetQL. Again, this is something you're going to have a stream every single Sunday night at 9 p.m. But there's also going to be pop-up streams that come along. Like I said, you want to hop in a free Discord, please hop in a free Discord. It's in the comments right here. It's also in the description. Make sure you check that out as well. It is free. We talk bets, we talk fantasy. And then I got the plus money prop train, a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. So it's always in the description, and you can always ask me any questions that you have. But for me, I've always said I want to feel comfortable. I do. I want to feel comfortable, and I want to be that guy saying, you know what? I don't have to worry about it. So guys like Christian McCaffrey, I don't care how good he is. I still have to look at it and say, is he worth me drafting and worrying, have to make adjustments for all year long? I don't want to do that. And it's funny, I gave my buddies the question and it made them think a little bit. So I'll give everybody listening, whether now live or later on, the question of what if take two guys, okay? And I'm gonna do this live on air. I'm gonna give you the I'm gonna give you the stats, okay? And I'm going to show you exactly the way I do things. All right. And because I'm an open book, man. I really am. I am an open friggin' book when it comes to this stuff and how I do it. So let's go 2024 for a second. And I'm gonna go to season. Okay. And I'm gonna go to receivers. And I'm gonna take two guys. I'm gonna take Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. And the reason why I'm going to do that is they're the two top guys that finished last year. Overall, they finished overall last year 1 and 2. Jamar Chase, and I'll from a PPR perspective because nobody does standard anymore, right? Who the hell does standard? From a PPR perspective, Jamar Chase had 403 points overall. Justin Jefferson had 316 and a half. So let's just say 317. Justin Jefferson had 317 fantasy points at number 2, and Jamar Chase had 403. Now, why am I doing that? Very easy. Let's do some simple arithmetic. Okay. Let's subtract 403 from 317. And yes, I'm writing it down right now because I hate to use calculators. I love math. Okay. That's just who I am, right? So right off the bat, you're talking 86. 86 points. Okay. Joshua, I got you, brother. Getting a question 1 second. So the difference between last year's top 2 wide receivers was 86 points. The reason why I say that is now I need a calculator for this one because I'm terrible at division. If I take 86 and divide that by 17 games, that comes out right here. It comes out to 5 points. 5 points. You know what that is? 5 points a week. 5 points. So I tell you guys this, and girls, whoever's playing, but I tell you guys and girls this because I'd rather pick up those 5 points a week in another area than have to worry about somebody the entire year. That's the Christian McCaffrey effect, right? So if Jamar Chase was Christian McCaffrey, if I took the next guy, you're talking about at the most, and that's it. That's at the most. Usually the difference is going to be like 50 points, 40 points, which break it down to week consistency. It's really not that big of a deal. People overthink it a lot. That's why I think the number 1 pick is overrated. Like it's about how you build your team in fantasy. It's about how you build your team. All right. We got a question right here from my man Joshua. I'll put it up on the screen. Joshua says, and again, if you want to get some questions, kick it in. If you're checking in live right now on X, hop over to the YouTube channel, Tony Cotillo Show. Very easy. Tony Cotillo Show. That's right now where this alternative edge is coming to you, powered by our good friends at BetQL, our new partners. Can't wait to tell you even more about that. But Joshua wants to know: pick 2 running backs and 1 flex. Wow, look at this. All right. So Jacobs, Connor, Ford, Zay Flowers, and Deebo Samuel. All right. So got to pick 2 running backs there. So I 100% I'm out on James Ford. Like I want nothing to do with James Ford or Jerome Ford. I'm sorry. I want nothing to do with Jerome Ford. 0. I want nothing. So I love James Conner, by the way. Josh Jacobs is going to get volume. That's great game. Great game for opportunity. So those 2 guys, bet easy. Jacobs, Conner. And then you want 1 flex for PPR. This going to be a tough one. Right? This going to be a tough one because I love Zay Flowers. I do. And I think that, based on that game script and the way it's going to go, I think there's going to be a lot of points in that game. Right? I do. I think there's going to be a lot of points in that game. Deebo in Washington, I'm curious to see how that all works out. Right? I am. And I honestly think that the Giants have a better defense than people give them credit for. And again, then like this is going to be the questions again, right? Then you have the questions about that Watson offense. Is it going to click right away? Is it going to right away be like, we're good? Jaden Daniels, no sophomore slump, right? Austin Eckler, C2J, whoever running back, are they going to go in there and boom right away? Are they going to run a little bit more Debo? I don't know. And be honest with you, he didn't look like he was in tremendous shape. I'm just throwing it out there. If you looked at the priest, didn't look like he was in tremendous shape either. So, for me personally, Josh, I am going to go with Jacobs, Connor, and Zay Flowers. Now, for your other league, pick 2 wide receivers in a flex, also PPR. Which, if you're not playing the PPR league, Josh, right? I tell everybody, I think you're like, get out of the dinosaur leagues, man. Like, we're in a new century now. Get over to this goddamn PPR leagues, man. It's crazy. So you got JMO, Garrett Wilson, Zay, Josh Downs, and Bigsby. Wow. Wow. Interesting. Now, the funny thing is about Garrett Wilson is you should think he's just an automatic play, right? Like he's a stud. That Jets team scares me right now. I don't know. Like I like Fields, right? I want Fields to succeed. I like what they have in the backfield. I do. But like Garrett Wilson is the only person on that team. Like that's it. It's Garrett Wilson and everybody else. So it's just like it makes me think like, holy crap, like are they just going to throw the entire book at Garrett Wilson? Because that's what I think of, right? So I think I'm off Garrett Wilson this week. I am. I'm definitely off Garrett Wilson this week. I would go for, and this is just looking at game script. Just looking at game script. I like Jameson Williams. So if you're asking me, I would go on your second one. I go JMO. I go Zay Flowers. And I love me some Josh Downs. I love me some Josh Downs. He's one of my faves, man. So, yeah, I go Jacobs, Connor, and Flower, and then I go and Flowers, and I go JMO, Zay, and Downs. That's where I go. Josh, I hope that helped you out. Let me know. Let me know how you make out. Again, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You want to get in the Discord? Very, very simple. It's in the comments right there. Just pop in. It's free. You get those, when I get off, anybody checking in, I'll make sure I wave to you, say hi, what's up? And again, I'll be on there all morning long, back and forth, looking at different bets, looking at different lines and things of that nature. This is what I love. I love this shit. Love every. Josh says, thank you, bro. I was thinking, well, listen, and again, Josh, this is what I tell everybody. I am not perfect whatsoever. And this may be the first. I don't know if you were somebody who was a listener for the last few years on Sirius who found me on here, or maybe you just found me because of the title, or but the way I give you my answers is just comfortability. Meaning I want the least amount of questions. Like I feel when people ask me things, the way and again, it's week 1. We don't have any analytical data to back up anything right now. Nothing. Right? Like I'm going to say it to everybody again. If somebody's throwing analytics down your mouth, stop. Because there is none. Like just look at like Garrett Wilson for instance, right? Head coach new, offensive system new, quarterback new, right? A lot of question marks. Right? Game script, don't know. That's what and if you go by Vegas, here's the other thing, Josh. If you go by Vegas, that's another thing I do. What's the line tell you? I'm a Philly guy. I've been in Philly media. I've done things in and out, whatever. I always will be a Mike Missinelli guy. And Mike Missinelli always said, what's the line tell you? Well, the over and under is like 37.5. That line tells you that game's going to suck. It says it's going to suck. Like each quarterback, I think Aaron Rodgers throws for 2 touchdowns. I think Josh maybe throws for 1, right? And I think the rest is going to be a bunch of kicks. So from a game script, I'm looking at why do I want that game if I look at that Buffalo and Ravens game and goddamn that game that looks juicy, right? That matchup looks juicy. And that's what I look at. And by the way, Josh, another thing you might have to understand too is I don't know if you look at the weather reports, but I'm already showing right now a 60% chance of rain. So that may that may factor into your decision too. And I'm looking at Baltimore and Buffalo with not a raindrop in sight, no wind, 57 degrees. So that's the kind of way I do things, right? Because you don't really have anything else to go on. So hopefully that helps. Let me know how you make out. I'm pulling for you, my man. Definitely. My man Japan says Shakir or Travis Hunter for my flex. I am all in on Khalil Shakir. Now, I know you're a Shakir guy, so this is odd for you to be asking this, Japan. This is odd for you. Now, the only thing that is a little worrisome to me about Shakir is the high ankle sprain. Coming back from high ankle sprains can bother you all year long, right? They really can. Now, I know Travis Hunter, you look at that game script, and we talked about that game, with Carolina Jacksonville being a punch out fest, right? He is still a rookie. However, I feel like Liam Cohen has shown the ability. I know he's not a running back, right? But he's shown the ability to be able to coach up some of these rookies like a Bucky Irvin and be able to make them stick for that first year. I I will always be a Trevor Lawrence guy. So it sucks that I have to rely on Travis Hunter to be great because of Trevor Lawrence. And for all you BTJ people, Brian Thomas Jr., I love Brian Thomas Jr. Think he's a fantastic talent. Just go back and look at last year when 70% of his big time production came with Mac Jones and not Trevor Lawrence. Just throwing it out there. Trevor Lawrence is not that great of a quarterback. Right. So you have to really look at that too when you break all this down. The only thing I could say is possibly the insertion of Liam Cohen. I mean, look what he did for Baker Mayfield. Right. So this could be the same for Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. I'm not sold on it. Travis Hunter is so good. But again, he's a rookie. I'm always hesitant with rookies in the first couple weeks. Right. I'm always hesitant. So for me, I would go Shakir. Japan, I'm in on Shakir. Shakir's his ankle is good per his dad. I like that. Ankle is good per his dad. My man JD checking in says, I'm playing Harrison Jr., love Marvin Harrison Jr., Cortland Sutton, Drake London. Does Shakir crack the start lineup? If so, who's out? Absolutely not, in my opinion. If I am starting, I haven't, man, JD must listen to me a little bit because my one season long league, I am starting Marvin Harrison Jr. I am starting Cortland Sutton, and I'm starting Drake London too. So I'm starting all three of those cats too. I don't have Shakir on the bench. I have Garrett Wilson on the bench. But nah, JD, listen, I love all three of those guys. All three of them. Marvin Harrison Jr. is second year, working hard with Kyler Murray, getting on the same page. I think we can expect big things from Marvin Harrison Jr. this year. That would be the only guy is if he falls flat, which I don't think he will. Then maybe you can slide Shakir in there. Cortland Sutton. I mean, just look at Cortland Sutton's production last year. It's going to be better this year, man. Like another year of Bo Nix year too. It's off the charts. And Drake London. Listen, I know how much I love Drake London. I took Drake London number 1 overall. I know. Give it to me, man. Give me all the heat. It's all good. In my one league, I took Drake London number 1 overall. It was a 12-man league. Just to give you an idea, I want to give you all guys some perspective because I brought this up. I was in a barbershop the other day. Oh, I talked about this earlier, but I didn't tell you this story. So me and my 2 sons both get our hair cut from the same barber. Shout out Adam. Shout out Sean Barber. So, or Shawn Michaels barbershop. So what I will say is I'm in there and my son was in there the week before, or I mean the day before. So as soon as I walked in, my barber Adam was like, "Oh, I heard Drake London, huh?" Now there's a guy that doesn't know me sitting in a chair, and I said, "Yeah, man, drafted number one overall." So this guy goes, "What?" He turns around and he goes, "I can see you don't know much about fantasy football." So now I just start laughing. Yeah, I don't know anything. I just been in the industry and doing shows and hosting for 15 years. I don't know nothing. Right. So I start going off. I start getting in my feels a little bit. I'm like, yo, dude, listen, ask everybody. I said, I had the same take when I took Saquon number one overall last year. And people said I was absolutely crazy. Right. Well, how'd that work out? I said the top two backs that I was looking at over Christian McCaffrey were Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley last year in the preseason, by the way, before everybody else jumped on their jock. How'd that work out? I think I know a little something about fantasy football. So I will say this. Yes. Is it a little bit of a stretch? Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. To take Drake London, number one overall, you got to have some big balls to do that. And I do. I got giant fucking balls. But here's what I will say. The reason why I did it is I love Drake London. I love him. 100, 158. That's all you got to look at. 100, 158. And with a quarterback carousel, 100, 158. And he missed some time during games as well. But I'm in a 12-man league, which means I'm picking number one overall, and I'm not going to be able to get my next pick until 21. So I know I'm not getting Drake on a comeback. Okay. I know I'm not getting Drake on the comeback. However, the way I set it up, knowing the way it was going to work, I knew that I was going to get guys based on where other guys were drafted. So I took Drake London, number one overall, still wound up with Chase Brown on the reverse. So some people are like, oh, yeah, still worked out with Chase Brown on the reverse. Okay. And still have Devon A. Chain on that team. Still have Kyron Williams on that team. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So for everybody out there, and I'm gonna let me pull it up. I want to make sure I tell everybody like it works out if you do it the right way. Okay. It works out if you do it the right way. So I still my five, okay, by taking Drake London number one overall, is I come back and I take Chase Brown and I took Marvin Harrison Jr. And then I came back and took Kyron Williams and Chuba Hubbard. So by me taking Drake London number one overall, I still wind up with Marvin Harrison Jr. as my second receiver, Chase Brown, Kyron Williams, and Chuba Hubbard. I got Travis Kelsey as my tight end. Okay. And again, as from a depth perspective, okay, I have Josh Downs, I have Khalil Shakir, I have Demario Douglas on my bench, and Roma Dunze on my bench with Jalen Warren and Chris Rodriguez Jr. I'm happy with my squad. But again, I think you really have to look at it at that perspective and figure out why you're going to pick the way you do. It's very simple. Again, Tony Consola, this is the alternative edge, powered by my great partner over there at BetQL. Can't wait for doing more things with BetQL. Like and subscribe to the show. This will be a pop-up consistently, but it'll also be every Sunday night, 9 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel, where at 9 p.m. what we're going to do is we're going to get you ready for Monday Night Football, give you a whole day and a half basically to get your picks in, because we do some pretty good things when it comes to showdown and Thursday and Monday Night Football plays, right? So you see the one we won right up there. So let's get back into a couple more bets that are like single bets, okay? Tucker Craft. I love this plus money bet right here. We talked about the lack of health when it comes to the wide receiver room in Green Bay. However, we talked about that being a really good matchup because Detroit is hurting a little bit from their defense, and they also lose their main guy in Aaron Glenn as their defense coordinator. That's a big loss for them. Okay. So you're essentially looking at Matthew Golden as being your number one pass catcher out there right now. Tucker Craft is an incumbent guy. He comes back again. He already has that relationship. Over 3.5 to me to get plus money. I guarantee that plus money is not going to last. That plus money is not going to last. So if you want plus money on Tucker Craft, I suggest you go put it in right now. Marvin Mims. Now, we talked about this matchup. We talked about this team with Bo Nix. Listen, the Tennessee Titans are rebuilding. This is year 2 of a Sean Payton, Bo Nix marriage. You bring in Evan Ingram. One thing they did not have last year was a good tight end. They did not have a good tight end last year. And the tight end in that offense is extremely important because it gets everybody moving around. It creates space in the middle of the field. It also, when you have a dynamic wide receiver slash tight end, because that's what Evan Ingram is, he's one of those hybrid wide receiver tight ends that can run a seam route as good as anybody. What does that do? That gets your over the top coverage off their game. And what's that open up for another speedster in Marvin Mims? To see Marvin Mims' number of over 36.5, he could get that in one play if he had to. I love this play. I love it, love it, love it. I know it's minus 111, but it's still good value, in my opinion. I think that's going to go up to minus 120 by game time. So I love the over 36.5. And I would also plus money up to the alternate line if you can get the 40 at plus money, or even I would go as high as 50 and ladder them up. I love Marvin Mims this week. I think I'm going to ride the Marvin Mims ladder this week. I do. Just everything with that matchup just breathes to me. Points, points, points to Marvin Mims. All right. So next we got, I told you the way I do things a little differently. I got 2 more plus money hits right here. Tyler Lockett, the safety valve for Cam Ward, in my opinion, not the running back. It's not going to be Chig. It's going to be, in my opinion, Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett over 2.5. He averaged 2.93 receptions a game. Now, I don't really go by that much, except that he's a veteran. The only reason why I bring that up is because he's been consistent throughout his career in Seattle. I think this is a really nice spot for him. I think Cam Ward showed the ability to be able to get the ball out. And when you're throwing a quick hot route, you're throwing that quick slant, that little hitch, it's going to go to Tyler Lockett because Calvin Ridley is going to be running down the field. So I love this play right here at over 2.5. And I also will bring it right back down to Marvin Harrison Jr. Again, the Saints have nobody. They traded away their best corner last year and Kenny Lattimore. They have nobody, in my opinion. Okay, this is a rebuilding project that they were Kellen Moore in New Orleans. So to get Marvin Harrison, listen, they're giving you this number, in my opinion, with the plus money, is they're basing it off of what happened last year, right? I don't think they're looking at the off-season workouts. I don't think they're working at, or they're looking at the strides that he's created, right? I don't think they're looking at any of that. And I don't think they're looking at the opponent too much, right? As much as we are. So and are also, in my opinion, are probably looking at Trey McBride. They're saying, oh, he's going to steal a lot, right? And they're going to run. And listen, I am telling you right now that this is the reclamation year in year 2 of a guy who got a ton of lineage in his name, obviously, in Marvin Harrison Jr. So to get him at plus money over 4.5 to get those 5 catches, I think is absolute value right there at just barely plus money at plus 101. Both of those were on, I got them on BetMGM, by the way. And I will say this again. I play the bets that I give you. I will not come on here, okay, and just say, hey, you want a good pick? Here's my pick. Here's my pick. I don't do that. I play, listen, whether I lose, it doesn't matter. At least I'm giving you guys a story on what we are playing. And again, if you missed it, this is what we hit. We just hit on Thursday Night Football. Let me get hold on, I want to show you something. As you guys are here, I'll do this. I do it live right here so I can show you guys kind of like what we hit the other night too. And again, I do this because I want you guys need to be transparent, right? I need to be transparent with you guys. Okay, that's what it's all about. I mean, if I'm not going to be transparent with you guys, how you guys going to trust me? Like this guy could be saying anything, right? This guy could be saying anything, right? So let me go. Let me add these to the screen for you guys. All right. I think you guys would like. I want to show you what we hit. Here you go. We almost again. It's not just football either. Okay, it's not just football. We're doing baseball. We're doing WNBA. Look at this one right here. We just almost hit today. We were one strikeout away from hitting a nice little quick three-legger for the Phillies and Marlins game today. I'm the parlay guy, just so you guys know. Like and we'll do a jigsaw crazy parlay. Like I'll always post that in Discord for the before the game tomorrow. Um, but yeah, again we really like the parlays here. This is what we hit right here, plus 900. We hit this on Friday night. Travis Kelsey scored touchdown. Quentin Johnson scored touchdown. Okay. This is what we hit on BetMGM. This was, again, giving it to everybody. Let's go have some fun. I base this on the Travis Kelsey reclamation year, and I base this on Quentin Johnson being the forgotten guy. Everybody was going to focus on Lab McConkey. Okay. You know how Keenan Allen clears out the middle of the field with his routes. He's a big clear out guy, and it gives you those opportunities to get Quentin Johnson involved, and all he has to do is hold on to the ball, right? That's simple. He just has to hold on to the ball. So we hit on that, and like here's the best part. You want to hit the single bets too. This is proof that I tell you guys that the way I roll is I do the single bets too. So, I number one, I go in there and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna throw the combo. I love the combo ATDs. You'll see a lot of them tomorrow. I love the combo ATDs. So I throw Travis Kelsey, Quentin Johnson in there, and I'm like, okay, well, damn sure better get the single bets too. Boom. So we not only hit the 9-1, but we also hit both of the anytime touchdowns too. Now, it would have been nice if we had the anytime touchdowns for Quentin Johnson because if we had 2+, but we didn't. But again, like I don't. Now, here's the thing I want to tell you guys. I don't do this to brag. Like, you guys will learn from me, man. Like, I don't do this to brag. I do this because I just want to be transparent. Like, I think there's a lot of crap out there, right? I do, and it always is in every industry. There's also a lot of great insight out there. But the guys and the ladies that have the great insight are the ones that get behind a microphone. We've been live for an hour and 30 minutes. I ain't shut the hell up yet. I've given you guys an hour and 30 minutes. I go strong, right? And I think there's a lot of things that people can give me that I'm not sitting here looking up information. I'm giving you based on my study and based on what I've studied already before I even came on the show. Right. So that's why I do it. Again, I don't do it to brag. This is what I do. Now, last thing before I get out of here, this is very important. Number one, make sure you're liking and subscribing to YouTube channel because that is where everything is going to live. The Alternative Edge lives on the Tony Cotillo Show YouTube channel. The reason why is because I like to talk a lot of different things. Right? I do. I like to talk a lot of different things. I'm a big fan. I'll be honest with you, a big fan, always been of Jeff Ratcliffe. I love the Jeff Ratcliffe show. I again, I'm a serious truther. It was an honor for me to work for Sirius for 3 years. I love doing shows on Sirius, and the reason why is because I was listening to guys like Jeff Mans and Jeff Ratcliffe. I was listening to these guys. And I love how Jeff Ratcliffe is the Jeff Ratcliffe show. And it's not like, hey, fancy this, fancy that. It's the Jeff Ratcliffe show. You know what you're getting, right? Well, for me, it's a little different because I talk a lot of different sports. So that's what the Tony Cotillo show is. But the Alternative Edge is the fantasy part of the Tony Cotillo show. So instead of me doing the Tony Cotillo show and be like, oh, here the picks for the show are, no, I'm giving you an entire show, multiple shows based on fantasy and sports betting that are part. So, and it is the Alternative Edge. And Because of the alternative ads, I shopped around for sponsors and I was approached when I was shopping around for BetQL and we struck up a deal and we're good to go. So, and again, I the alternative edge is a BetQL powered product. The plus money prop train is still a odd shopper tails product. Right. So you can get that at odd shopper tails, a plus money prop train, which is where I give plus money bets out. Okay. And we talk about plus money bets. That's a fun again, it's just fun stuff. I like to do different things. Okay. I like to do different things. So the way you get involved is number one, you follow the most important thing is you follow the Tony Cotillo show on YouTube. Most important. Then, if you want to get involved through Discord, the free Discord is going to be in the description. Okay. And it's going to be on the screen right here. Hopefully, when I get off, I sign off in a couple minutes. I'll see some of you guys in Discord. Okay. And I do start sits, talk about bets, talk about fantasy plays, DFS, you name it. That's what we do in there. Okay. So make sure you get involved there. Then make sure if you are on X, make sure you follow at Tony Cotillo Show, because that's again where all my show clips and things of that nature live. But if you just want picks, meaning like all the picks that I play and just talk about that is going to be at Pick the Pieces. At Pick the Pieces on X. A lot of people are like, why don't you do well? The reason why I do that is because I do so many different things that I want to make sure that I have people's best interests taken into it taken into account. So I do that so I can continue to have everybody's best interest taken into account. So that's why I do that on different stages. So make sure, and again, it's rolling right there on the bottom of the screen. Everything is in the description. That's why I said the best thing you do is hop in a Discord right there. Hop in, make sure that you like and subscribe to Tony Cotillo Show. I'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m., where we will talk Monday Night Football. Obviously, talk about what happened on Sunday. Talk about any bets that we hit, any bets that we lost. Right, we'll do a recap bet, recap DFS value, and then what we'll do is we'll look again to Monday night for Monday Night Football, and we're gonna pick. This is, I'm gonna throw it up for you real fast, just give you an idea, because we still have almost 100 people watching right now. Almost have 100 people watching right now. Check that out. That's amazing. I love it. Thanks, fellas. I appreciate it. So this is what you're gonna get on each side. Just check it right here on the left. Single stat DK. Okay, that's what we're going to get. We're going to get the Showdown DK Captain and AEVP, which is the alternative edge value play. We're going to get the best bets for anytime touchdown and same game parlay. We're going to get a couple plus money props, and you're going to get the Jigsaw Crazy Parlay. That will be on Sunday nights. That's going to be on Sunday nights, and that's going to be for specifically Monday Night Football. All right, so make sure you tune in right there. And again, this right here, this show, again, is for tomorrow, actually for today, so we just at midnight. Sad Panda checking in. He says Aaron Jones, Calvin Ridley, or oh man. Ouch. Ouch. Oh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. You know why it's a tough one is because like I love Ridley. But damn, that defense is good. That Denver defense is so goddamn good. Like I really like. I want to say Ridley so bad, but that defense is so good. I love the aspect of Chip Kelly offense and Jacoby Myers being forgotten behind Brock Bowers. So I like that. Oh man, this is gonna be a tough one, man. It's gonna be or Aaron. See, that's an interesting dilemma there. Now you're gonna this. I don't know if you can go wrong in many different things. I actually, I might have to go Aaron Jones. I noticed. I'll be honest with you. I might have to go Aaron Jones. I know they're playing in Chicago, right? Here's the way I look at it. Here's the way I look at this. I do things a little differently for everybody. So I look at, oh, my man Sean checking in. What's up, Sean? Been a while, brother. Just so good to see you, my man. As always, great file. I appreciate it. Real fair. Hold on. Let me get back to Sad Panda. Here's why I like Aaron Jones here. You're going JJ McCarthy. First time he's starting in the NFL, right? First time because of the injuries and all that, right? So you got JJ McCarthy learning his players, right? In Chicago, on the road. Now, Chicago is going to try to air it out under Ben Johnson. You know, you expect Ben Johnson to run the ball 40 times, you're out of your mind, right? So there's a lot of different things that go in this wheel that's going in my crazy mind. But I think that you see Aaron Jones is such a great receiver out of the backfield that I think that Aaron Jones could really give you a nice like 5 for 40 or 50 catch game. You know, just in PPR, just 10 points alone, because they're gonna slowly bring in JJ McCarthy, and that's gonna be like his outlet, right? Because remember, you got no Jordan Addison in that game either, right? So I think I like Aaron Jones. Yeah, I'm gonna go Aaron Jones, Sap Panda. I am. He says for flex, been debating all week. Yeah, who's your hey Sap Panda, who's your other two running backs, by the way? Let me hear your other two running backs are. Jacob. He says flex, Cup or Dobbins. Oof, that's another tough one, man. Oh, like this whole RJ Harvey thing, like it just I don't here's the thing. I don't think I buy in to the RJ Harvey thing that much because Sean Payton is he's a veteran offensive coach. He's a veteran coach. He's a veteran head coach. I don't really remember him in certain rookies that obviously besides quarterback, but he usually really has to really trust and I listen, I like Cooper Cup, but I have not heard anything great. If I'm just going by who I think is going to get more opportunities, right? I think that's what you have to go by right here. Who's going to get more volume? Oh man, I think I would. I think I got to go J.K. Dobbins. Because here's the thing. I think he's going to get the rock, and I do think that Denver is going to put up a decent amount of points on Tennessee, and there could be multiple red zone opportunities. And also, I think that they're going to run the ball a little more. Uh, you know, because maybe the score predicates it. I don't know. I just I listen, I love Cooper Cup, but looking at that offense is going to be mainly like a backfield run offense and with JSN. And so I that's a tough one, man. That's a tough week one dilemma right there. To be honest with you. Like I think I go JK Dobbins. I do. I do. I think I go JK Dobbins. I'm not expecting the world of JK Dobbins, but I don't know what you can expect. Listen, here's the thing. If JK Dobbins gets you 60 yards rushing, right, and doesn't score a touchdown and gets you like say a catch for 10 yards, that's 8 points in a PPR format, right? So looking at Cooper Cup, what's Cooper Cup going to give you? Like what's his ceiling is kind of like what you have to look at. And listen, the guy's been through a lot, right? I mean, that's what you have to look at. The guy's been through a lot. Um, but I don't know if it was team or not, but he was like a forgotten guy out there. I mean, if you just go by what he did after week 12, I mean, you're talking about 4 points, 9.0, 5, 3, 3, 11. I don't know, man. I don't know what you have left. So I just think that from a volume standpoint, I think at least you could say you're going to get a lot of volume from J.K. Dobbins. So I think I got to go with J.K. Dobbins, definitely. Derek. So he says Derrick Henry and Kenneth. Oh yeah, dude, that's great because you got Derrick Henry who is the pounder, right? He's not going to get the catches. He's going to pound it. Uh, Kenneth Walker is going to get both. He's a Clint Kubiak disciple. All right, that's great. And now you have a PPR monster and Aaron Jones. I'm in. All right, let me get to my man Sean. Thanks for no problem, Sap Panda. You got to make sure you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, hop into Discord, like I said, and make sure you're following on X as well. Sean, just what's your best defensive value on FanDuel? So I'll be honest, I didn't look at FanDuel yet. I just looked at DraftKings. I'm big. I'll get into it a little more, but I can tell you I don't know what they are. But here's what I'll give you from a DraftKings perspective. My two favorite values from DFS are Demario Douglas and Xavier Legette. I really like these two value guys. I think that Demario Douglas is instantly the wide receiver two against lackluster defense for Vegas on Mike Vrabel led team. Josh McDaniels running an offense, loves the slot, loves got like remember guys like Wes Welker, right? I really love Demar. I've been on Demar Douglas since June. Like I've done multiple videos of Demar Douglas. He's like your 5 for 8 guy, 5 for 80. And if he scores, it's a plus. Like he's going to give you a guaranteed like 8 to 12 points every single week. And there's going to be weeks where he goes even higher than that. And I think in this matchup specifically, I love the value at 4,200. And Xavier Legette, I mean, everybody's expecting, McMillan as a rookie just to be the guy out there right away for week one for Bryce Young. And I don't see that. I see it as, Xavier Legette, to be honest with you. You see Hunter Renfro is there. I'm not like, again, I don't know, man. Like Legette's the guy. Legette has to be the guy. And Legette, in my opinion, I know they have him listed as wide receiver 2. I still think he's the incumbent starter at wide receiver 1. And I view him as as a wide receiver 1. So to get him Sean at 4,200, I think is a steal. I do. I think he has a really nice day tomorrow. I do. So I hopefully that helps. I don't know what they are in FanDuel. I didn't check. And again, Sean, just so you know, I know you know me from the Win Daily days. I just partnered up with BetQL for DFS. So for RotoQL. So and I haven't dove into it yet because Sean, you've been following me for a while, so you know me. I don't like to just throw shit out there that I don't know nothing about. So I knew the Win Daily system front and back from projections and optimizers. I don't know the system front and back yet for BetQL. I'm learning it and I should have it down by next week. So until I have that down, I'm giving you just this is not no model, no nothing. This is me. Just my insight or what my own projections and my own analysis on what I'm thinking. So hopefully that helps. Sat Payne checking in again. He says, I got Jalen Warren. I could put him in there too. Now, here's the thing about Jalen Warren. I like Jalen Warren. I still think that offensive line in Pittsburgh is a little suspect. And I don't think he's going to get the catches that Aaron Jones will get. I like the setup with Aaron Jones. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I think the game script for Aaron Jones to me is essentially where I want to be. I do. I think he's like midway to pack. I like Aaron Jones over guys like James Conner. I like Aaron John. I like Chuba Hubbard over Aaron Jones, but I definitely like him over Jalen Warren. I do. I like him over Jalen Warren. Yeah, and I'm a Jalen Warren guy. I think there's going to be some really good matchups for Jalen Warren. But I don't know if he's on that week to week starter. Yeah, I have Jalen Warren myself as a depth guy, so I don't think he's a week to week one star yet. So yeah, listen, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. I want to go. I said I would go an hour to 2 hours. We're hour 45. I want to say thank you to everybody. Listen, it's been fantastic. I mean, we've had literally anywhere between 70 to 100 live viewers for an hour and 45 minutes. I have barely taken a drink. I love to talk. I love to talk this stuff. I love to answer questions. I love to dive deep into, different analysis and different projections and things of that nature. So you'll definitely learn that from me. And again, make sure you're following and liking and subscribing to YouTube show. That's the best thing that can help me continue to build this. Make sure you're getting over to BetQL, and again, they're revitalizing, right? There's been some changes, and they're trying to rise back up, and they're getting things together. And I'm happy to be a part of the journey with them for NFL season. It's going to be fun. And again, if you want to hop in Discord, it's free. Hop into Discord. And again, we can have a conversation there as well. Everything will be in the description on the YouTube page, which is so important why you need to follow the YouTube page. So, everybody, tomorrow is NFL Sunday. I wish nothing but the best and everybody luck in their bets, in their season long, in their DFS plays. If I will be readily available in Discord tomorrow, leading up to the game for any questions anybody has. I'll probably be popping some bets in there as well, things I really, really like. And on top of that, man, I'll be watching football all day, and then I'll be back here live at 9 p.m. Make sure you check in tomorrow night, 9 p.m., where we recap. We'll probably go an hour, maybe 2 hours, who knows? But we'll recap and we'll get everything ready for Monday Night Football for you guys as well. So everybody have a fantastic evening. Stay safe and stay healthy, and let's get ready to hit some bets.